Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Witchspire because honestly, I think this game is going to become a favorite for a lot of cozy gamers. If you've ever wished Palworld had a cozy, magical, cottage-core witch makeover, this might be exactly what you've been looking for. You play as a witch, you get adorable witch hats and cute outfits. You fly around on a broomstick, and all of the building pieces have this really cool cottage-core magical witch vibe. What I love most is that the game really commits to the witch fantasy. You're not just wearing a witch hat for decoration, you actually feel like you're living the life of a witch. You're flying around the world on your broomstick, casting spells, collecting familiars to fight alongside you, and building your own magical home. It all comes together really well, and that's what kept pulling me back in. Now, the animals you collect in this game are called familiars. That's what the game calls them. So anytime I mention familiars throughout this video, that's what I'm talking about. So what this game does, instead of capturing pals with spheres like in Palworld, the familiars you defeat can leave behind their magical souls. You collect those souls and eventually unlock that familiar so it can fight alongside you. That system definitely reminded me of Palworld, but Witchspire has enough of its own charm and personality that it never feels like it's trying to copy it. So instead of doing a full review today, I thought I'd share 10 tips I wish I knew before starting Witchspire. So tip number one that I have for you is don't avoid combat. Combat is a lot more important than I expected because it's how you'll earn one of the game's most valuable resources, spirit dust. And spirit dust is used constantly, so you're going to want to do a lot of it. The nice thing is that while you're fighting enemies, you're also going to be leveling up. And as you get stronger, farming lower level enemies becomes much faster, which makes it easier to stockpile spirit dust. It reminded me a lot of Palworld in that sense. The more you fight, the stronger you become. Then you can return to those lower level areas and defeat everything much faster. So even if you're mainly here for the cozy building and witchy vibes, don't completely avoid combat. It plays a huge part in your progression. But good thing is in this game, you can change the difficulty level. I have mine on standard and it's, kind of hard. But if you want to put it on easy because you're not trying to fight that crazy, by all means. Tip number two I have for you is pick up everything. Seriously, grab everything you naturally come across. Wood, stone, plants, clay. If you see it while you're exploring, just collect it. You're eventually going to need almost every resource in this game, especially if you enjoy building, and Witchspire is definitely a resource-heavy game, so you'll thank yourself later for picking things up as you travel instead of constantly having to go back and hunt for more materials. One thing I really appreciate is that the game automatically pulls materials from your storage chests when you're crafting or building. Thank you, Lord. That means you don't have to keep moving everything into your personal inventory every time you want to make something, which is such a nice quality of life feature. The one thing I really wish they would add though is an auto sort button for storage. Right now you have to organize every chest manually. There isn't a button that automatically groups the same materials together so your storage can become messy very quickly. Hopefully that's something they add in the future update because it would make the storage system feel so much better. Tip number three I have for you, upgrade your hearth early. Your hearth is your home base and your respawn point, so I recommend placing it somewhere safe like the meadows while you're still getting started. And from there, focus on upgrading it whenever you can. Your hearth is tied closely to progression, so the sooner you start improving it, the sooner you'll begin unlocking more useful features. And one of the biggest early unlocks connected to your progression is your broomstick, which brings me to my next tip. So tip number four, unlock the broomstick as soon as possible. Seriously, the broomstick changes everything. Before you unlock it, getting around can feel pretty slow, especially because you can't climb in this game, so you might see a treasure chest or an area above you and have no easy way to reach it on foot. Once you unlock the broomstick, you finally start feeling like a real witch. Flying around the world instead of running everywhere is incredibly satisfying, and it makes exploring so much more fun. You can reach higher areas, discover new locations, find more treasure chests, and spend more time enjoying the world instead of just trying to get from point A to point B. I would definitely work toward unlocking it as soon as possible because the game opens up so much more once you can fly. Another tip: how to capture and use the familiars. Before you can use a familiar, you'll just need to collect its soul. When you defeat a familiar, it has a chance to leave behind its soul. However, it doesn't happen all the time. Not very often, actually. A lot of the time, you'll defeat one and its soul will disappear very quickly, so you may need to fight the same familiar several times before you're able to capture its soul. There are also special scrolls and other items you can use that make it easier to capture familiar souls. That's what I've been doing. So make sure you check their descriptions and use them when you're hunting for a specific familiar. When a soul does appear, it will look like a small little glowing orb floating where the familiar was defeated. So just walk up to it, hold F to capture it, and then begin bonding with that familiar. Once you've unlocked the familiar, open your familiar menu, place it into one of the circles at the bottom to equip it. And when you want to remove or switch a familiar, simply click the minus button to unequip it. And then you can place any other familiar you've unlocked into that slot. Also, don't forget to actually use your familiar's abilities during combat. What you want to do is you want to press Q and E, either or, to activate their special abilities. They can make a huge difference during your fight, and they're very easy to forget about when you're first starting. And don't panic, guys. If your familiar gets defeated, thankfully familiars don't disappear forever. If one gets defeated, just head back to your hearth and it will respawn. You don't have to worry about permanently losing one that you spent time unlocking, which I was very happy to discover. The next tip: use the right familiar element to unlock hidden chests. As you're exploring, you'll eventually come across special treasure chests that seem impossible to open. Next to these chests, you'll notice little elemental pillars. Each pillar represents a different element. For example, this green one represents nature. To unlock the chest, equip a familiar that matches the element shown on the pillar. Once you've got the correct familiar equipped, have it use one of its abilities by pressing Q or E while facing the pillar. And then when the familiar uses the correct elemental ability, the pillar will activate and the chest will unlock, letting you collect the treasure inside. So if you ever find one of these locked chests, don't assume you can't open it. Just make sure you have the right elemental familiar equipped and let it use its ability on the matching pillars. Another tip for you: one mistake I made early on was not paying enough attention to the luminaries. Every time you level up, you'll earn a luminary point. And you can also find luminary shrines while you're out exploring. Interacting with one instantly rewards you with an extra luminary point. So they're definitely worth seeking out whenever you spot one. These points are what you'll use in the luminary tree, which is basically your skill tree. This is where you'll unlock new combat abilities, stat boosts, crafting recipes, and passive upgrades that make your character stronger over time. Okay, so I do want to make this other tip really quick. Don't stop to grind right away. So this tip kind of goes hand in hand with my last resource tip. I'm not saying don't pick up things. You absolutely should. If you walk past a tree, grab some wood. You see a rock, mine it. Pick up everything you naturally come across. What I don't recommend is spending your first few hours standing in one area, chopping down hundreds of trees or mining a mountain of stone. The game does reward exploration really well. As you're exploring the map, opening treasure chests, fighting enemies, and completing objectives, you're naturally going to collect a ton of resources along the way. So keep progressing instead of getting stuck in one spot grinding. Now, if you're anything like me and your goal is to build a massive witch cottage or the entire magical village, then by all means, go cut down every tree in sight. Trust me, you'll eventually use every single resource you collect. One last thing before I wrap up, Witchspire also supports up to 6-player co-op. These kinds of survival and crafting games are always more fun with friends, and 6 players is a really nice group size. You can have people gathering resources, building the base, exploring the map, fighting enemies, and hunting for treasure together. So if you have a larger friend group looking for a new cozy survival game, this could be really fun to play together. But overall, I've been having a lot of fun with Witchspire. It definitely has a few things I'd like to see improved, not many, like an auto sort button for storage, and it can be a pretty grindy game if you're a big builder. It's also more combat heavy than you might expect from a cozy witch game, but the combat does serve a purpose. It helps you level up, collect spirit dust, gather magical souls, and unlock more familiars. The further you progress, the easier the lower level combat becomes, so the beginning might feel a little grindy, but it does start to speed up as you become stronger. And if you love games like Pal World, enjoy survival crafting, base building, exploring, collecting familiars, and playing with friends, or not playing with friends, I think you're going to love and enjoy this game like I have. And if you're a cozy gamer who loves witchy aesthetics, magical spellcasting, adorable outfits, building your own enchanted home, and soaring through the skies on your broomstick, this game is definitely worth checking out. So let me know down in the comments if you've been playing Witchspire, which familiar is your favorite so far. I have mine. She is so cute. I think her name is pronounced Spomina. I have no idea, but she is just adorable. And whether you have any tips that I might have missed. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps support the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.